And this is Chamber Call, and I'm your host, Sherman Ray, CEO and President of the Black Business Chamber, where we are the next generation of entrepreneur in Las Vegas. And today on Chamber Calls, we'll shine a light on one of those businesses. Folks, you're in for a treat today. Rhea Watson, I'm going to give you a really short, bio on her. Rhea is a lifelong Las Vegan. Has been educated here, has made her business here, and I'll tell you, this is a true success story because now she's looking back and she's saying, you know what, I see an opportunity to actually not only make a great living out of business, but be able to actually touch people's lives for the better. She has a business called Scholarship Solutions, and I think I won't tell you everything about it. I'll let Rhea tell you all about it. But Rhea Watson, welcome to the show today.
Thank you. I appreciate that. How are you, Mr. Ray?
I am doing awesome. You know, I had a pleasure talking to you yesterday, and tell you the truth, and everybody can find, I fell in love with her yesterday. I really did. Aww, because she's very sweet. And so it being smart and sweet, really, that matters. That really does matter in this world. So tell us a little bit about Scholarship Solutions.
Yes, so I am Rhea, again, Yay. The scholarship doctor.
Yay.
And I am the proud and amazing, blessed owner, president, founder of Scholarship Solutions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where we help scholars, and we call everyone a scholar, doesn't matter. Everyone is a scholar. Where we help scholars of all ages, 0 to 99, mm-hmm. from the womb to the tomb, from birth to death, to have a debt-free college experience. AKA, we help folks go to college for free.
Isn't that awesome? My gosh. So you know, this is amazing. And we're going to get into this a little bit. Even in the short time we have, we're going to get into a little bit. Whatever got you involved in being a scholarship doctor, a scholarship coach? You know, what got you into it?
So I was that girl who got a lot of scholarships to go to college. I mean, I know that's maybe not the best in grammatics, but really that's the case. I was the girl that got a lot of scholarships to go to college. And so around $300,000 I actually earned mm-hmm. in order to go to school.
Yeah.
I'm, again, a Las Vegas native, been here since I was 4 years old,
yeah.
Class of 1992 from Echoes Christian Academy,
mm-hmm.
class of 1997 from Morris Brown College in Atlanta, Georgia, and then actually came back to a doctoral program right here at UNLV and finished my master's degree about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And so I was all homegrown, and through all of those degrees, programs, dissertation, theses, etc. Thank the Lord, I was able to do that through scholarships. And so mm-hmm. people knew that. And there were amazing families who I would babysit for. My sister and I, again, right in 89106, started celebrations.
Oh, yes.
For the babysitting. See, I'm
this side. 89106. There you go. Sure. Yes. Nice.
True Vegas girl.
Yes.
We started Celebrations, which was a babysitting agency, when I was 13 and she was 11.
Yeah.
And so people would allow us to babysit their kids and take care of them. We had a great time with that. And those babies, actually 2 of my babies, 3 of them, including one who has a master's degree in accounting and works right in Summerlin, but 3 of those babies, their parents came back to me when they were now in juniors in high school, mm-hmm. and I was also in college, and said, hey, Rhea, we know you got a lot of scholarships to go to school.
Sure.
Can you help our kids who we think are a little bit misdirected? They were good kids, but they
mm-hmm.
were also very popular. Grades had gotten a little bit questionable,
yeah.
even though, of course, there was no issues with crime or anything like that. But they were all now cute and beautiful. So girls and boys had a little bit of,
That's the way they are.
It happens, right?
We understand, sure. Yeah.
But they wanted to go to college, and they needed some help with that. And these heroes and sheroes who had blessed me to allow me to keep their kids about 10 years before and then help their children through the collegiate process, they were first responders and hardworking people,
yeah.
but they had not necessarily gone through the college process themselves. And again, since I had gotten a lot of scholarships to go to school, they asked if I would help. I would go in kitchens and living rooms and help these kids who I would babysit, and then they kind of told their friends. And that is the history of Scholarship Solutions. Back then, it was just Riri from 89106 helping these kids.
Riri from 89106. Oh my God, that's a good name.
Scholarship Doctor with Scholarship Solutions.
Yes. Riri from 106.
It's all good, right?
Yes. Isn't that awesome? So you say you got a lot of scholarships. Now, were your parents big on school? Is that how some of that got started that way, or?
I love that question.
Yeah.
So actually, I am a first generation college student. My
Okay.
sister the same way. My dad was, bless him, he's in heaven now, but he
Aw.
was a huge component for education, always a huge community servant. My mother as well. But to start with my dad, he actually was a high school dropout. He didn't make it through his junior year, but
Okay.
he told us, and I can remember even as young as 2 years old, honestly, Mr. Ray, with my dad saying, you will be a doctor, you go to college. My sister, he had put in her that she was going to be an artist, you go to college. And we had heard that since we were infants, probably. And
Yes.
my first memory is about 2 years old.
Mm-hmm.
But was always like that. And my dad surrounded us with collegiate opportunities and experiences from the time we were lap babies until he saw us cross stages with multiple degrees.
Isn't that amazing?
And I'm trying not to cry, and I'm not going to.
No, that's
My
all right.
mom-
You cry, because if you don't, I will. I'll tell you, that's good stuff.
And
Yes.
he was. My dad was actually functionally illiterate, so he could not read or write. And the thing he did was he could read the Bible, which was amazing. He was the wisest and smartest man that I've had the privilege of knowing.
Hey.
But for all the intents and purposes, he was not the standard for education. And he wanted to make sure his girls, and it's just my sister and I, that his girls were. My mom, on the other hand, was a stay-at-home mom, and my dad worked at the Nevada test site. When I tell you we're Vegas, we are Vegas.
You're
so
real
Daddy worked
Vegas.
at the Nevada test
The
site.
test site. Oh my gosh, yes. That's old school Vegas. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
25 years. He was a maintenance laborer, so we were a union family. We didn't have much, a lot of love, a lot of support, a lot of care, a lot of dedication, and a whole bunch of faith. I mean, I had a dedicated parents who were not the Huxtables, maybe more like the Huxtas, but they knew the importance of education.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. See, folks, this is why Rhea, that's why I fell in love. She is just a joy to be around. Go ahead. Not the Hux. Yes.
The Huxtas, but it was two
You're
amazing parents who loved God, loved family, and believed in education, and were determined to make sure that my sister and I had every single opportunity possible. And so with that, they thought that for our path, that private school was the best option. And in middle school, instead of me going to the sixth grade center, see, I'm true Vegas, right?
Oh,
the sixth grade center.
Yes.
That I went to a private school, Echoes Christian Academy. And so in sixth grade, I entered there. My sister was in fourth grade, and that's where we attended. And my mom actually cleaned the school to help pay for our education.
Sure.
But she would sing and praise, and my mom's an amazing songstress, many times being compared to the miraculous Mahalia Jackson, my mom's voice. And so she would sing and pray, and people would watch her and listen to her, and they asked if she would actually come and kind of monitor the kids. And so she started there. She ended up being the cleaning lady to help her daughters.
Oh, come on. Wow.
Sorry. Excuse me.
It's good.
Get through school.
Yeah. Wow. So your mom cleaned, worked, your dad's functionally illiterate, and they said, not my kids though. My kids are going to start on my shoulders and move up. And that's powerful. Just powerful.
And so my mom cleaned, went to being basically an assistant teacher that you would say, to being the principal of that school.
Oh my gosh.
The same exact school. And my sister and I graduated under her as assistant principal and principal, valedictorian of our classes, graduating top 9 I did from my undergraduate program, number 2 in my graduate program, from 2 parents from East Boogie, East St. Louis, Illinois is where we're from. And they brought us from East St. Louis to Las Vegas for opportunity.
Yeah.
And never gave up, even though my dad worked at the Nevada test site 10 floors, but he was gone from 4 a.m. until 7 p.m. every day. My mom went from cleaning to being the principal of a school, and actually we owned our own school, and she did that. She was the first faith-based organization. If you remember, under President Bush,
Sure.
second President Bush, he started the faith-based initiative,
Sure.
and we were the first faith-based organization in the state of Nevada. So what that meant is she had this idea about having a Christian school, but there was no church, and it had never happened, at least in the state of Nevada. They've always been affiliated with some type of church or mosque or synagogue or something.
Sure.
And we were just an organization that
just
we loved God. Right? It was us. And so we got the first, it took so much time for her to earn her 501c3 because it was the first time it had ever happened in the state of Nevada, but she was the first faith-based organization in the state of Nevada. We owned that school, House of Knowledge Christian Academy, for almost 10 years. My mom ended up, unfortunately, having a stroke. She's fine. She's great. She drives me everywhere. So don't feel bad for my mama. She is incredible.
All right. Sure. That's good. Yes.
But because of that, it forced her into retirement at that time. And it was a new chapter. But with that, we have high school graduates literally around the world, college graduates, those who have masters, doctorates, PhDs, attorneys, all again under the ostrich of my parents, because my dad believed so much in my mom's dream, because she never had to work except to help us. That was the thing. So she was with us all the time.
Yes.
She homeschooled us when some things kind of didn't go right and they weren't happy with the educational system. She sacrificed, and my dad did as well. And so it didn't mean that we always shopped at the best places. It didn't mean we always had, prime steak. And I don't even eat that. So you see, I don't even know what it's called, but we didn't have those types of meals all the time. So again, we didn't have this Huxtable lifestyle. But if nothing else, and I can speak for my sister, and I'm going to do it if she wants me to or not, we knew we were loved, we were supported. It was all unconditional. And if nothing else, we were going to have a high quality education so that we could have opportunity and choice. Because although I have these degrees, and my sister as well, we are absolutely entrepreneurial. And those types of spirits, that type of what's the word I want to use? Internal drive is completely birthed from the seeds that both my parents put into my sister.
That is fantastic, folks. We've got Rhea Watson here. She is the scholarship doctor, the founder of Scholarship Solutions, and we've got her here on chamber calls. Rhea, let's talk a little bit about Scholarship Solutions.
Sure.
So what do you actually do with Scholarship Solutions? Now you're saying that your clientele starts from 0 to 99, which is a big.
99.
And so what does that look like? And how are you helping your students? What kind of services are you actually helping your folks with?
Yeah, so we are privileged to coach scholars, again, and families through the college and scholarship process. So what that looks like is A's and A's, guys. We believe in A's and A's. It's not about A's and B's. I'm not trying to be funny or facetious or rude when I say this, but you really should not be proud saying, oh, my baby is an A and B student. No student needs to be an A and B student. Yes. He or she needs to be an A student. It is all about A's and A's. I said, I'm going to get a t-shirt made, A's and A's, not A's and B's. Yes. And the reason why we always strive for A's is because there may be times, Mr. Ray, that you end up with a B, and we understand that. But if we kind of are confessing and claiming and excited about B's, it can easily turn to a C, which can be a D or an F. Yes. So we always are going for A's and A's. So we coach scholars, and everyone is a scholar, through those processes so that they can understand. And really, I kind of think of myself as someone who is re-educating, uneducating, and educating people on the process because they don't know. So for one thing, sometimes people think, oh my gosh, my child is going to be going to college one day, so I should probably start applying for scholarships or working on scholarships with them in 12th grade, maybe 11th grade. But really, it's something that should start at birth. Absolutely, positively.
Yes. So you've got to start looking at your child's future from the time they come out, before their feet hit the ground. You need to be planning for that child's college years.
When you have your birth plan, you should also have your academic plan, which should be inclusive of scholarships, colleges, high schools, preschools, elementary schools, middle schools, having those plans in place. I always say, I don't care, honestly, with my scholars, if they become go to clown school at the end of the day. If they are the best sanitation worker or janitor,
Sure.
if they're the best HVAC or mother or father, none of that matters to me if someone becomes like this scholar truly at the end of the day. The
Yeah.
thing is, a plan has been put in place. And no matter what they are at the end of that 12th grade year or the end of that graduate school time, they have a plan that has set them for life, because what we teach, coach, and instruct, they can use in so many different areas.
You said something that and we're going to run out of time here, but I've got to get this in. A child goes through schooling, formal schooling. That's only 12 years. I mean, if you don't count, preschool, literally you have 12 years, which is not a lot of time for you to actually get everything right, because it goes so fast. So you basically give them the roadmap plus the tools to get from A to B, so that by the time they get ready to get out of high school, they are ready for college, and not just ready for college, but they've actually got money in the bank too.
And they're going without debt. And, we really love when our scholars are on salary. And so what that means, Mr. Ray, is that instead of—
You don't have to call me Mr. Ray. I it's funny. I was a school teacher at one time too, so I still have students that call me Mr. Ray. That's funny. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Am I calling you Sherman? Is that what you want to be called?
You can call me Sherman. Sure. Yeah.
So I don't remember my train of thought, but anyway, it's important to start early and not wait, because that's sometimes what happens with families.
Sure.
And because of that, it equals debt. And I was saying, I think that our scholars are on salary. About 50% of them now are on salary to become as students. And what that means is they are being paid to go to school versus a family or them paying to go to school. So actually on my docket right now, I have 8 seniors, and half of them are on salary. So they've already received their financial letters that we get back, all those things saying, this is how much money that the college is giving you, and this is your balance. Their balance says negative because the college is already writing them. One of them is around $7,000, the other is $3,000, and we still have all summer to apply for scholarships.
Sure.
And so what happens is they keep up their grades. They stay active in school, right? They do all the things that it takes to earn the money, because like, what other job can you get where someone's going to pay you $3, $7, $8, $10, $20, $30, $40, $50, $60,000?
Yeah.
Not too many places.
Not too many places. Gosh, Rhea, let me ask you one more question, because I'm gonna have to let you go. I know you've got a busy day here, and time flies so quickly. Does a person have to be, or is there a time in a student's life where you cannot help a kid? I mean, let's say a parent says, a grandparent says, you know what, I love my little child, and they're starting high school, or they're maybe a sophomore. Is it too late, or can that grandparent contact you and say, can you help my child or my grandchild?
Absolutely. On my banner back here, you might see the slogan is, it's never too early, but it's never, ever, ever too late. So you can start your scholarship, your collegiate, your whatever process today, and we can assure debt freedom. Although I was that girl that got a lot of scholarships to go to school, I did not have a coach, and my parents didn't know. And so I went to my number one school, got in, but I had 5 full ride offers that I turned down. My number one did not do that. And so although I had tons of scholarships to go to school, they did not cover all of my tuition and fees. So I had student loan debt.
Okay.
But I was able to learn there was a better way. And when I learned that way, I've trained that way, but I've also been able to use scholarships that I've earned to pay back my student loans. Yeah. So it is never, ever, ever too late. We love the 4.0 student, but he or she is not the perfect student. First of all, they're very well-rounded. But again, I've had someone who had a 1.2, literally GPA, was not graduating high school.
What 1.2? I thought I heard something wrong there.
No,
yes,
absolutely. 1.2 GPA, completely credit deficient, was not graduating high school. We were able to put this scholar on a plan, and remember, everyone's a scholar. From January to March, this young man went from that to on a graduation track on scholarship at N University. So it is never, ever, ever too late. It is never too early, but it's never too late to have a debt-free college experience.
Gosh, folks, you've got to get a hold of her. Rhea Watson is on Chamber Calls today. Rhea, if people want to get a hold of you, how are they going to get a hold of you?
So I have several things. I have my social media platform, my website, and my phone number. My phone number is 702-623-9500. 702-623-9500. Website is myscholarshipsolutions.com. So that's my singular scholarships, singular solutions, plural, myscholarshipsolutions.com.
Yeah.
And we're on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn at Scholarship Solutions, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Scholarship DR. That's Scholarship.
Come on. So look for her, Scholarship Solutions. Rhea Watson on Chamber Calls. Rhea, thank you so much. And we'll definitely be talking, folks. You got to keep an eye on her. She's been doing great things. Thank you for sharing your story, and thank you for sharing your business on Chamber Calls.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. It was great.
All right. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay. God bless. Thanks.
God bless you too. Bye-bye. Bye.